Next up, for the Sideline Guys presents UFC 300 main card previews, we have the second title fight, the co-main event for UFC 300. And this one takes place at women's strawweight. We've got the champ, Weili Zhang at minus 480 going up against Zhang Xionan at plus 380. Such a huge discrepancy despite being obviously the number one contender going up against the champion. Um, I think Yan Xiaonan is much improved, especially on the feet, with her ability to time fighters, whether they're coming in or even pressuring them back towards the fence. I think she has a really diverse skill set when it comes to landing shots, especially straight shots, especially also out of clinch breaks as well. I think she's very aware of where she's strong and understands that she's going to have to keep this one on the feet if she wants to have the most success. This is a very dangerous fight for Weili Zhang. I think, although I love Zhang's full MMA breadth of skill set, I think that her striking does leave a little bit to be desired. And in a matchup like this, there is a lot of danger that Yan Xiaonan poses. I think ultimately, though, Weili Zhang is serviceable on the feet, especially at distance, to close the distance and end up in scenarios where she's able to control Yan Xiaonan for long stretches. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not a good look, right? In the rematch that Rose Namajunas was able to be taken down, survive long enough to still win the decision. That's obviously Yan Xiaonan's path to victory. But from what I've seen from Weili Zhang, she's just such a physically imposing fighter. I'm picking her to win by submission. Give me submission round two. Give me a modified rear naked choke, right? Something like we saw against Carla Esparza, where whether it's not necessarily from the back, but she's able to cinch in the choke itself and then catch it in transition. Give me Weili Zhang to retain the belt via second round rear naked choke. How you feeling about this women's strawweight title fight, Sean?
All right, for the co-main event. Honestly, this is a fight where it's very, very exciting. You no matter what, you'll have a Chinese champion at the end of it, and that's great. Um, as much as I love this fight, I also think I've said this so many times on the show before. I don't like seeing fighters kind of pushed into a title fight, and as much as Yan arguably deserves to have this shot. I know she's the number one contender and everything, but I also felt like she could have had one more fight before getting this one. And I think Zhang Weili is a lot different than someone like Jessica Andrade, who she last fought. So this is a tough one to see. Zhang Weili is at her absolute peak right now. She was a former champion. She was a champion. Rose Namajunas came in and beat her twice, and she came back and took the throne. And after, oh my God, I can't remember her name because I hate her so much. I despise her in this division. I'm gonna have to. Well, Chris, you're gonna have to edit this part out because now I gotta look it up. What the hell is her name? Carla Esparza. Oh my God, that's how much I hate her. I can't even freaking remember her name. Her fights are always the worst. I know she's a two-time, but Jesus Christ, I can't stand her. Every time I watch her fight, she just bores the shit out of me. Put up one of the worst, half the performance from her. Put up the worst title fight, worst fight probably in UFC history. I'll never want to see it again. I'm a huge Rose fan. And like that fight was so bad that I think Rose even left the division. She was like, I've had enough. That was the worst fight. I was so glad Zhang Weili took the belt from her. She deserved it. And the fact that Zhang Weili is so dominant now, I think this one completely is a one-sided fight. I completely understand why the odds are the way that they are. I think Zhang Weili is just so much more explosive. Her striking is so much better. Her grappling is way stronger. I think this is where one of those fights where a fighter is just better in every direction than another fighter, in every angle, in every capacity of this game. And I think this is one where this is, her aggressive fighting is just going to lead to a fight ending sequence somewhere along the way. And I think this is one where this fight ends in the second round. I think this fight actually does go to a knockout by TKO. I'll say by ground and pound punches or something. Or I think this is one where Jan's a little vulnerable here. This is a big step up, a big step up in striking and athletes and just opponent. And the strength that Zhang Weili has, I think, is going to be a huge problem for the grappling if the striking is not enough. And I think Zhang should absolutely retain her title within ease. And the fact that she gets to do it at UFC 300, this is probably one of the biggest gifts she can ever get in this sport. And I think this is going to be an incredible title defense.